back at it again from Digital Home. And today I just wanted to talk to you guys quickly in regards to who it makes sense to get smart home technology, right? Who should actually acquire this kind of stuff. I talk a lot that this is the future, right? This is where I believe all homes are going to be smart moving forward. But if we're talking about today, who are the people that make sense to do it? And I came up with a little list. It's really, I have 5 here. There's probably more, but I think these are a good 5 to kind of really start with. And number 1 are people with kids. I think smart home technology really helps make the house a lot safer, especially when you have children, whether that's putting cameras outside the house, inside the house, however you want to do it, whether that's just to make sure they got home from school safely. Maybe you have a baby, you want to be able to watch them in the way that people do with like nanny cams and things like that. Or if you want to have smart locks so that when the door unlocks at 3:40, you get a message to your phone that says, little Jimmy's home or whatever, right? So giving you some abilities around that and keeping your children safe, I think is one big area for smart home technology and something that we see a lot of. Number 2 would be people who have large homes. There's a lot of different ways smart home technology can help for large homes. Some of the things that I think are really interesting is, one is smart lighting. If you are in a larger house, it gets really annoying when you're leaving the house and you realize that you left the lights on in the back right room that's now, you have to run to or walk a long distance to cut off. It's a lot better when you can just grab your phone and say, okay, I want to cut all the lights off. Or you have a button at your exit that says it's all off button, or an away button that maybe leaves a few lights on, but doesn't leave all of the lights on in the house where you have to run around and cutting everything off. It gets really annoying when you're in a larger house. Another thing you can think about for larger homes is things like smart thermostats. Being able to better regulate the way that you're using your heating and cooling, right? If your house is very large and you're only typically in certain areas, there's no reason for you to be heating the areas that you're not in or cooling the areas that you're not in, especially when you start getting past I think 3,000 square feet, it definitely makes sense. But like when you start, we work in a lot of homes at 18,000 square feet, 20,000 square feet. It literally doesn't make sense to have all of those rooms cooled. It just adds to the bill astronomically. And having smart thermostats and smart technology around that really, really does help. Another group of people that would make a lot of sense are landlords, developers, builders. This goes back to my thesis that all homes are going to be smart. It's inevitable, really. I've said it to, I've been pitching this to a lot of people for a long time now, and I really haven't had anybody say that they disagree. It just makes sense. The millennials are coming, right? We grew up with technology, literally never more than a few feet away from our phones, and we like to control everything with our phones. We do everything with our phones, whether that's email, text, social media, etc. But being able to control your lights, cameras, music, TVs, etc. with that is also something that a lot of millennials are starting to really want. And seeing it become more of a draw in places that are renting or selling to millennials. I went to visit an apartment this week and they had Alexa dots on the wall just so that they could say, we have smart systems throughout our house, and they had speakers and things like that. The number 2 builder in the country, Lennar, just said that they're doing smart homes for all of their houses, Wi-Fi certified smart homes. So it's something that's coming, and if you're a smaller builder, you definitely really, I think, should start getting into this, or you're going to get completely overtaken by these larger builders like Lennar when they start coming down the line. But even the larger builders, if you're competing against Lennar all the time, really makes sense to start thinking about how this is going to affect the competition. I compare it a lot to what happened with car companies, right? People were tinting their windows way before the car companies were doing it. But what happened was the car companies started saying, okay, we're leaving money on the table, or we're not essentially putting our best foot forward with these cars if we're not enabling people to tint them with us, or even tinting them already and then allowing people to say, no, I don't want tint, et cetera, if you're buying it new. And you can see that on cars today. Now they're even starting to do it with the mat with cars. So I think paying attention to what consumers are doing makes a lot of sense for builders, developers, landlords, and it's definitely something that they should think about in terms of investing in from a technology standpoint. Number 4 is the probably most obvious, and that's people who are tech enthusiasts. There are thousands of smart technologies on the market. IoT, a lot of people will call them, whether that's being able to have something that tells you that there's a flood in your basement, whether that's a smart oven like the June, or doing some of the more tried and true methods like having smart music systems throughout your house, smart lighting, smart thermostats, door locks, cameras, etc. But if you're an enthusiast of technology, I don't even need to tell you to check it out, because I'm assuming you're probably already starting to do that. And if you look at frontier-wise, you see that the biggest technology companies in the world are starting to move down that direction, like Amazon with Alexa, Google Home, Apple has their Apple HomeKit, and everybody's really starting to go down that direction, so it makes a lot of sense. And then lastly, is a group of people that I don't think thinks of smart technology as much, but makes a lot of sense, and that's people with a heavy design focus, right? So whether that means you're an interior designer or you just want your house to look as beautiful as possible, smart technology gives you a lot of abilities that that the historic technology didn't give you. So I'll start with number 1 with something like smart lighting. So if you go into a house, sometimes you'll go into a room that has a lot of different lighting areas, and you'll have 8 different gangs of light switches. So you have 1 light switch, 2 light switch, 3 light switch, 4, up to 8, right? And it's like this big on the wall. If you're really design focused, that's not very attractive. They call it wall acne. With smart technology, if you think of this before, when you're building a home, you can wire so that you can break all of those 8 gangs down into 1. So now you really get a lot of your wall back and are able to really make your design fit more to what you want and have a lot more control over it. So that's 1. Number 2 is thinking about TVs, right? With smart technology, IR kits and things of that nature, instead of having to have your cable box sit right under your TV, having a cabinet right there, which takes away from maybe the aesthetic that you're going for, with smart technology, you can put that cable box downstairs in a closet, or in a closet around the corner, or wherever, so that now all you have is just your TV on the wall, and you're able to have the design that you really want, instead of being forced into having the cable box close by. And then lastly, I'd say it's something like invisible speakers. So you may want music throughout your house, but you don't like the way that having speakers on the ground looks, or even in ceiling or in wall speakers look, because they maybe don't go with the design, or you want to put a painting someplace and it doesn't look good with the painting. This gives you the ability to have speakers that you cannot even see. So they look essentially just like the drywall would. So I don't have drywall behind me at all, so I can't really give you an example, but it looks just like a wall. You cannot see it at all, so therefore you're really able to do the design that you want without having to think at all about how the technology is going to change your look. So I think there's a ton of different ways you can think about smart home technology and who should have it. These are 5 different keys different people that I think are really interesting to think about for smart home technology, but I bet there's a ton more, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Comment below if you want to have a debate about it, you want to talk a little more about it, or as always, my contact information is right there. I'm always available by email, phone, or etc. And to talk to you about how smart home technology can help you out in your home. Again, Henry Johnson here from Digital Home, and